Hey folks, Dan Gunther here. Welcome to my review of the latest episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 10, The Passenger. So if you saw my review for the season premiere of Season 2 of The Mandalorian, you know that I wasn't completely impressed with it. This week, I've had a chance to kind of lower my expectations a little bit, and while I still wasn't incredibly impressed with this episode, I think there were some things that it did really well that I did enjoy. Still some things that frustrate me, but we'll definitely get into that. Warning, if you're watching this video, there are, of course, spoilers, so if you've not seen the episode, you may want to go watch it before you watch this video. Story-wise, I feel this episode is just as lacking as the first episode was. It seems to be a bit more of treading water. Again, the kind of weekly exploits without a major advancement of the story. However, the story itself is interesting and fun and introduces some new characters and has some old characters from previous episodes that are fun to watch as well. Amy Sedaris is always a joy. I can never fault her because she's great. And, the little game of sabacc that she's playing with Dr. Mandible, that was just some fun little bits here. There's one thing these episodes do well, it's adding those fun little bits to the Star Wars universe. So, for example, when the Mandalorian is confronted by a pair of X-Wing pilots, he says, "May the Force be with you," to them, which at this point, he doesn't even know what the Force is. It's just become like a saying that you kind of throw out. But my favorite bit was when they answer back, "and also with you," which, if you grew up Catholic watching Star Wars and you heard "May the Force be with you," it always in your head answered back, "and also with you," which never happened in any of the movies or anything, but it's just something that's so ingrained. It's fun to see that kind of acknowledged in the Star Wars universe, so that was cool. The X-Wing pilots, of course, themselves, we have one who is Dave Filoni. Of course, a lot of people are recognizing him. The other one, however, is a Canadian actor, a Korean-Canadian actor who stars most famously as Appa in the Canadian television show Kim's Convenience. I was so thrilled to see him here. Paul Sun-Hyung Lee is famous as a huge Star Wars fan. I got the chance to meet him a while ago at the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo, and he came dressed in full Imperial officer cosplay. So happy to see him in Star Wars. I know that must be just the biggest thrill for him. So yeah, very, very cool. So in this episode, the Mandalorian has to take this frog lady from Tatooine to a nearby world. And I say frog lady, I'm not just making that up or pulling that out of nowhere. That is literally how she is credited at the end of this episode, Frog Lady, who has a clutch of eggs waiting to be fertilized by her husband who's waiting for her. And because the eggs will be destroyed or die if they go into hyperspace, the Mandalorian has to travel at sublight the entire journey, which of course opens him up to dangers. The aforementioned two X-Wing pilots kind of catch up with him and basically run his plates and discover that he's a criminal. So the Mandalorian manages to evade the two X-Wing pilots and crash lands on an icy planet, I'm assuming, or moon, and is quickly overrun by a number of ravenous ice spiders. And this is where this episode gets a little tiresome for me, because last episode we had the big huge creature they were up against, and this episode we get the same bunch of tiny little spiders, and then we see, the mama spider, this big huge creature, come out. And the visual effects are really great. It's, visually, I never have any complaint about these episodes. They're beautiful and masterfully shot and really good looking episodes and well directed and that sort of thing. But the kind of overarching story just gets a little bit tiresome. Throughout all of this, we have the antics of Baby Yoda, and he's definitely precocious in this episode. He's eating a bunch of the eggs of this frog lady to the point that where every time it happens, we're kind of freaking out a bit, because these are the last of her family line. She's got to get these eggs to her husband, and it's definitely disconcerting to see them kind of disappear one by one down Baby Yoda's gullet. And I was thinking, as we were watching this episode, maybe he's protecting them somehow, but I think he's actually just eating them, which is definitely disturbing. But, not a lot of advancement of the main overarching story. as far as the Mandalorian and Moff Gideon and that sort of thing, other than the fact that he's attacked early on in the episode by a number of bounty hunters, showing that he's still in danger from that. So I guess we do get a glimpse of that, but again, this is just kind of seems to be fairly standalone. That said, the way the episode ends, with it kind of leading into the next episode, it's clear this story is going to continue for a little bit with, the Frog Lady, Baby Yoda, her eggs, and the Mando all kind of in the cramped cockpit of the Razor Crest as it continues on, basically limping its way to its destination. Other little bits that I did like was the Frog Lady rewiring the droid from last season, played by Richard Ayoade. It was great to hear his voice again and just get a little bit of that. I thought that was really cool. So again, I feel like this episode suffers from a lot of the same problems as last week, but I'm enjoying it. I like the adventures. I like the broadening of the Star Wars universe and seeing a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie. I'm always thrilled to see X-Wings, part of me, that little geek heart of me is like, ooh, X-Wings, cool, so there's that. But overall, kind of a bit of a meh, but at the same time, still enjoyable, still interesting, visually beautiful, very good direction, interesting writing. And I'm curious to see where this all goes next week. So how about all of you? What did you think of this second episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching, and thanks especially to the Patreon supporters for their help in bringing these shows to you. I truly do appreciate it and could not do it without you. To everyone else, thank you for watching. That's the most important, best thing you can do for this channel. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with someone you think might enjoy it, or, maybe just to embarrass me on my lack of Star Wars knowledge. Your choice. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, as always, may the Force be with you.